Hello. Welcome to Golden Library, a channel dedicated to reading experiences. In this video we present the top 10 most beautiful libraries in the United States. This video will bring maximum joy to your imagination even if you haven't visited yet. Watch until the end so you don't miss out on America's most beautiful libraries. Let's get started. Number 10. Geisel Library in San Diego, California. The Geisel Library at the University of California, San Diego was designed by William Pereira in the late 1960s as an 8-story brutal concrete structure. Perched atop a canyon near the center of campus, its 2 stories below form the foundation of his 6-story high-rise tower. This is a tribute to Audrey and Theodore Seuss Geisel, better known as Dr. Seuss. The building houses 7 million of its books, including his Ph.D. An extensive portfolio of original drawings, sketches, proofs, notebooks, manuscripts, books, photographs, and memorabilia. Number 9. Los Angeles Central Library in Los Angeles, California. The largest public library in the West, the Los Angeles Central Library has captivated book and architecture lovers since it was built in 1926. The building's architect, Bertram Goodhue, incorporated elements of ancient Egyptian design to create an early example of Art Deco. The library's most famous feature is the tiled pyramid at the top, with golden hands holding torches. A 1993 edition added 330,000 square feet of space, called the Tom Bradley Wing, and also helped restore the original Goodhue building. Number 8. The Seattle Central Library in Seattle, Washington. After a landmark 1998 borrowing operation that saw a $196.4 million overhaul of the Seattle Public Library system, the original downtown library was renovated by the Metropolitan Architectural Office in partnership with Rem Koolhaas and Seattle office LMN Architects. Pritzker Prize-winning architects designed the 11-story, 362,987 square foot library with a diamond-shaped glass and steel skin. The new Central Library, which opened in 2004, includes a book spiral that showcases his entire nonfiction collection in one continuous run, a towering living room that reaches 50 feet high, and a brightly lit, red room. Number 7. State Library of Iowa's Law Library in Des Moines, Iowa. Located in Des Moines, Iowa, the library provides legislators, government officials, the Iowa legal community, and the general public with access to 105,000 legal volumes covering state, federal, regulatory, and case law. Originally created by an act of Congress in 1838, the Law Library's collection moved places until 1886, when it settled on its second floor of the state capitol in Des Moines. The library's Great Hall is ornately decorated in Victorian style, with painted ceilings, stained glass panels, and 14-meter-high book-lined niches. Number 6. Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. An overview of America's most impressive libraries could not be complete without the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. The world's largest library, the Library of Congress, is housed in its 3 buildings on Capitol Hill. The most acclaimed building is the Thomas Jefferson Building, which opened in 1897 and houses the legendary main reading room. Inspired by the reading room of the British Museum Library, the dome-shaped main reading room is the central access point to the library's collections and is accessible to all researchers aged 16 and over. Number 5. Boston Public Library in Boston, Massachusetts. The pinnacle of the Boston Public Library system, the Central Library consists of 2 buildings designed by Charles Follen McKim and Philip Johnson. The McKim Building in Copley Square was built in his 1895 and features a huge reading room called Bates Hall, complete with green lamps and vintage wooden tables. Bates Hall likewise has barrel vaults and a coffered ceiling, all enveloped by 15 vaulted lattice windows. His $50 million renovation of the reading room, which began in 1996, recently added new woodwork. Number 4. New York Public Library in New York City. A building of the New York Public Library System is a showpiece of Beaux-Arts architecture and is centrally positioned adjacent to Bryant Park on 5th Avenue and 42nd Avenue in Manhattan. Construction began in 1902 and finally it finished in 1911 at a cost of $9 million. Today, it houses about 15 million items, counting medieval manuscripts, ancient Japanese scrolls, and modern novels. With its iconic 52-foot-high ceiling and vibrant cloud mural, the library's Rose's Reading Room recently reopened after a renovation that enforced the entire space to be covered with scaffolding. Third place. Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library in New Haven, Connecticut. One of the world's largest libraries devoted entirely to rare books and manuscripts, the Beinecke Library sits on the Yale University campus. The building, made of Vermont marble and granite, bronze and glass, was designed by Gordon Bunshaft, of Skidmore, Owings and Merrill. Work began on the building in 1960 and was completed in 1963. While the white and gray exterior of the building looks intimidating, the interior is simply stunning. A huge glass tower of books rises through the core of the building while two stairways ascend on either side to the mezzanine level. The Gutenberg Bible, the first Western book printed from movable type, and Audubon's Birds of America are on permanent exhibition. Second place. The Morgan Library and Museum in New York. Investor J.P. Morgan owned an extensive art collection, from rare books and prints to antique artifacts. In 1924, his son J.P. Morgan Jr. donated his father's library to the public and the Morgan Library and Museum was born. Located on Madison Avenue and his 36th Street in Manhattan, this extraordinary building was built by Charles Follen His McKim from his 1902 to his 1906 and occupies half of a city block. Since 1924, several additions have been made to house the collection, including the 1928 edition, the 1988 brownstone, and the 1991 outdoor garden. Number 1. George Peabody Library in Baltimore, Maryland. The library interior is often regarded as one of the most beautiful libraries in the world. So much it can be booked for weddings, school dances, and other events. Housed in the Peabody Conservatory, the George Peabody Library has regularly been called the Cathedral of Books, and it's effortless to see why. Built in 1878 and designed by Baltimore architect Edmund D. Lind, the library has a huge open-air central atrium that grant downward views from all levels of the library. Huge skylights let in natural light, and the library's iconic marble floors and ornate railings make it a favored wedding venue. Not many students peruse stacks, but the George Peabody Library remains a non-lending library accessible to the public. Thank you for sticking to the end of the video. Be sure to let us know in the comments your top 3 libraries. If you have been to any of these libraries, please share your experience below. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe so you don't miss any future literary recommendations. Until next time, have a great reading.